The one thing I think about when I hear retro games...
The first thing I think about retro gaming was...
What is the first thing I think of when I hear retro games?
Someone says retro gaming to me, actually the first thing I think of is...
Retro video games, whenever you hear that, or retro games.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of retro gaming?
Things that I think of when I think of playing retro games.
When I hear the words retro gaming,
when I hear the term retro games, the first thing I think of...
Retro. What it means to me.
I just think classic games.
It's definitely like Altered Beast for the Mega Drive. Because I mean, my parents came back with the Mega Drive with Altered Beast, and it was basically a babysitter for us whilst my parents were working all the time. And so I just sat there for hours upon hours on Altered Beast. You know, you got werewolves, bears, dragons, and it was just a beast of a game, no pun intended.
It takes me back to when I was a kid and playing some awesome games like the Mario games, the Zelda Link to the Past, the Dragon Warriors, the Final Fantasies, the Baseball Stars. It just takes me back to that golden era of innocence where games, for the most part, lived and died by how fun they were to play. It didn't matter about graphics, it didn't matter about presentation, it didn't matter about achievements or trophies or downloadable content. It was just simply who was the, having fun, and if you had friends over, who was the best.
Super Mario 3, retro. Even like Marble Madness, like that was a great game, retro. Games that like River Raid on the Atari, Commando on the Commodore 64. These games that were so limited in what they could provide with graphics, but the gameplay was so addictive and you just didn't want to stop playing. I think retro, especially with the technology today, I think retro definitely means something with the graphics, but also just means classic. Like when something's retro, it's classic. It's a classic game.
Difficult. The first word I think of about retro games is difficult, and I don't just mean that the UI is unresponsive or there's no tooltips and all that kind of stuff, but back there people didn't mind their games being too hard for some people. These days I feel there's a lot of hand-holding and they want to sell as many games as possible, so they want as many people to be able to play them as possible. And, retro games, it wasn't about selling as many as possible, it was about making the game. Games like Civilization, no tooltips. Without the manual, you don't know what you're doing. Master of Orion, one of the greatest games ever made. The first one was very difficult. Once you learn the systems behind it, by playing it and learning it, not by looking it up or reading the tooltips, clicking the help in the game, all that kind of stuff. You learn the systems, you learn the game, and I think that's something that new games have lost, that retro games have, where they didn't treat their players like idiots, they treated their players like people who were learning a new skill.
Mario? Like, come on. The little plumber that can just do everything. Why not? Definitely he is retro. Anything else that considers retro, I go to Pac-Man, but I don't know whether he's in the same category. He's more like computer gaming as opposed to console gaming, from what I can understand anyway. Definitely old school gaming, Mario, he's so cute. Why wouldn't you?
Passion is, love for the game, for the gaming industry. It's the roots, take Zelda. I mean, it's 25 years this game has been, doing its thing. At least 25 years. And, you've seen it evolve from the old, Legend of Zelda going from map to map to, You know, the latest one, the trailer, I don't know if anybody has seen the trailer for the latest one coming out. It's just mind-blowing, you know, like how far they've come. It's the passion, it's the evolution of the game, it's seeing something grow from, you know, a seed to, you know, an oak, this huge oak tree that everybody sits under and, you know, basks in its glory in the shade.
I always think of the NES immediately, and then that little 2-pack cartridge of Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. I loved the Zapper, I loved playing Duck Hunt, because just the concept of light gun games in general is still incredible to me. Now that I even know how they work, it's even better. So that, as well as, like, let's say old DOS games I always think of, just in general, like that pixely, that little pixely generation before they started to get like 16-bit graphics. That's what I always think of when I hear retro gaming. And Pong. Yeah, can't forget Pong and Donkey Kong.
Is definitely either Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog, without a doubt. Mario, still to this day, is obviously the most popular character ever. But I think back then, when Mario Bros. 1 came out, and I've got vivid memories of going to a mate's house who was just up the alleyway around the corner, an old primary school mate, and he had the game on the NES. That was the first time I ever played it, and I was like captivated at this little dude running in, jumping into tunnels and collecting coins and mushrooms, and I had to get this system. I just had to get it, and I just begged Mum for it for the next Christmas, and finally I was happy enough Santa came and got us the NES, and I was such a happy kid that time.
The old consoles like the Sega Mega Drive 2 and the Super Nintendo. I've played the Sega Genesis and the original Nintendo and some really old PC games, but my first serious gaming sessions were on the Super NES and the Mega Drive.
The arcade. Actually going to an arcade. I remember being in an arcade and when I was really young and seeing all the older kids like hanging around the Street Fighter cabinets and the Mortal Kombat cabinets and being absolutely amazed by these guys that are like doing the fatalities, and it was incredible. And just the feeling, the sound and the smell of the arcade. I know it's weird to say smell, but they had a certain smell about it. It's all those hot CRT monitors and the stuffy like wooden heated boxes of the cabinets. And yeah, that's definitely what I think of when someone says retro gaming.
Even playing retro games to this day brings so many memorable moments. It also brings back the great memories we had playing these games when we were kids.
I remember playing Street Fighter on Super Nintendo, and we used to hire it out every weekend from the video game shop. It was about $25, and that included the Super Nintendo, 2 controllers, 2 games, but all we wanted to play was Street Fighter. And I remember, you know what's funny, because I remember we played it so much, and then it finally clicked to us that we could block and charge at the same time. We could block and charge at the same time. So what that means, like for example, like if you were Guile and you could block and then press forward and Sonic Boom, just like all those memories. And we played it so much, so many Hadoukens that we did on the D-pad that we actually had to, Doggo and I, we actually had to lick our thumbs like this, like, and because our thumbs were so sore in playing that we just had to lick our thumbs to actually keep playing the game, because our thumbs would get blisters on and everything. And Doggo and I, like before every fight, would look at each other and like lick our thumbs like that, because we knew it was going to be a battle, you know. And we still do that sometimes. Like even when we play games today, we just still do that as a joke. And I think that's things like that is magical.
Favorite video game memories, and that's always being able to go to my uncle's house, who had a huge Star Trek collection and all the video games you can think of. And during the holidays, during Thanksgiving, we'd all get together or whatever. There's about 50 50 cousins, and there'd always be about 20, 25 of us sitting in this enormous room full of video games and in this huge house. And so that's just every time I think of that house, I think of awesome people and food and stuff and being together, and about a system that I didn't own that I got to play there, and that's the Super Nintendo, and with the two games specifically, Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario Kart. Our family's competitive, so this always was fun with all of my cousins. I'm pretty sure there was crying and scratching and biting and whatnot. So yeah, the Super Nintendo.
The PlayStation 1 and the Final Fantasy series, number 8 in particular, that really got me into the series, and I've played every one since then. But 8 really stayed with me, still play it on a yearly basis now. To me it's like reading a book, it's a brilliant story. I've got it on my PS Vita now so I can take it with me on the go. But I just remember being a kid, the amount of all-nighters I pulled playing that with my mates. They'd come round, I'd be like a kind of a go-to guy, they'd get stuck, they'd come to me and I'd help them out.
My favourite memories of gaming as a child has kind of come back and come full circle lately, which is pretty cool. My favourite game of all time is Wasteland, which is a post-apocalyptic role-playing game which was out on the Commodore 64, and I think it was 1988. And I'm going to put up a picture of me. So that is how old I was when I was playing the original Wasteland in 1988. It is one of the best games that you will ever play. It was one of the first things where you had choice, and the choice meant something. You had repercussions that would go through the game, and you could finish the game even by leaving ruins and wreckage and dead bodies behind you as you went. Not like a lot of other role-playing games where, you know, if it's a story character. Story characters are mortal, not Wasteland. Everybody can be killed, every single person. Absolutely a game changer, changed the way that role-play games worked, and you can still feel some of the repercussions of that today. My favourite game as a child was Wasteland. It's the first game I ever remember playing, the first one that was special and amazing and bigger than you thought other games could be.
Great memory was at the local video store. Me and Josh used to ride up to the video store on our push bikes, and if there's games that we didn't have, they used to actually have them set up with the system and the TV. You could pay the store owner like $5 for like half an hour of gaming, and it was the best because we could play games that we couldn't afford when we were kids. Like I always remember playing Mortal Kombat 2 or Mortal Kombat 1, I think it was, and we knew the blood code and all, and we'd go in there and Abacab, ABACABB, we jumped smashing the blood code on the Mega Drive, and there's all these other kids watching us and checking out how we got the blood code, and you know, memories like that. That's why we do this. That is why we do this to this day.
So some of my favorite memories were of the Nintendo Entertainment System or the NES when I was a kid, playing with my friends. Baseball Stars is one of my favorite games on the system of all time, because me and my friends would literally create our own teams, and that was one of the first games I ever encountered that would let you do that. And we would, honest to God, spend weeks, months, and years playing this game to create our perfect teams. You could literally buy skill points in positions for players, and you can have them hit hard and run faster or be a better fielder, or in the pitchers they could pitch faster and have a better curveball, and it was all skill points. So you had an RPG aspect to a baseball game as early as the Nintendo, the original NES system. So that was a couple of my favorite memories of playing old school video games.
I would have to be different and say the Sega Mega Drive too. With the Sonic series, Sonic 2 in particular, Aladdin, the Lotus Challenge, Super Smash TV, the Desert, Jungle and Urban Strike games, the Bonanza Brothers, World of Illusion with Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, the Shinobi series, Streets of Rage, Duel Master, Golden Axe, Quackshot, and so many more that probably haven't even got listed. Sega really pumped out a treasure trove of top-notch games. So, despite the fact that Nintendo has some obvious legends like the Mario Brothers games, the Donkey Kongs, Killer Instinct, the Indiana Jones games, the Star Wars games, Sega really did awesome to develop some good titles, and I have really good memories of my time playing all those games.
When I got Banjo-Kazooie, because we were at Blockbuster and I saw it in the bin for buying instead of renting, and I remember seeing a commercial for it about these, like, it was these cowboys sitting around a campfire talking about if pigs could fly, and the announcer's like, no, but bears can. And I just thought the game looked amazing, so I picked it up at the Blockbuster with my parents, and I still have that very same copy in my N64. I love it so much. It's seriously my favorite game ever.
Well,
So look, we're done.
well,
That was great hearing from all those people.
you know, I think, like I
He's lost for words.
I am actually lost for words because I think, it's actually been a long time since I've actually taken a step back and looked at the bigger picture of
and thought about
it and talking about it, because Doggo and I, like, we came up with this idea, last year, to do retro games, just to catch up as, mates and play the games that we used to remember. That's what it was about. We're like, how cool would it be to play the retro games that we used to grow up? And then a year's grown on, and then we decided to stream it.
Chuck it on YouTube.
We started getting fans, and Doggo's collection has
just
now
kept growing.
Just growing.
Yeah.
And it was really good to see. This video, like, probably, honestly, means a lot. Like, I know for me, and I know for Doggo,
It means a lot.
It means a lot. It actually means a lot for us to talk about it.
Yeah.
And to actually hear what, like, our fans...
Like, I was thinking of different things as I'm actually recording it for the video, and the stuff that comes out when you're remembering from when you were a kid, it's pretty crazy.
It is.
Crazy.
And when we were doing the interviews, funnily enough, when the other person was standing behind camera, and we were talking about the memories, I was like, yes, yes, I was like, yes, I remember going to the video shop and spending all my pocket money on playing those video games for hours, and that's why I think retro games is special. And it's great to hear, Doggo and I, wasn't it? It's great to hear what other people
It's fantastic hearing
have to say.
from England to America. Thank you so much, guys. It was a bit of I wasn't sure if we are going to get many people, but ended up getting, a few good people to do it, and, we really appreciate that. So thank you very much for being a part of this awesome episode to relive the memories we had when we were kids, and it's been fantastic doing it.
Yeah. And this is what, for us, Retro Bros is about. It's about establishing that community of people that love retro games and actually celebrating it. Celebrate playing it. Enjoying it.
Having fun.
Having fun while
Let
doing
go.
it.
Who cares about what other people think? And just have fun.
Have fun doing
Hit
it.
that record button. Have fun.
and
As long as
enjoy
you
it.
guys are having fun and making yourself laugh or whatever it is you're doing, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's
That-
all we
that
want. It's
brings
great.
me
Yeah,
this-
it's great just to get to be involved in the retro gaming community. That's pretty much. And to find new friends and to chat to people over the YouTube and the Facebook and meet all these people that are so into it as well, and even just gaming in general. And it's awesome because you make new friends out of it. So.
Exactly. And I think this is probably one of the most special videos
Definitely.
that we've ever done, and I think the reason for that is because everyone has a story.
Everyone has a story.
Everyone has a story on how they got into video games, and most importantly, why they like playing retro games, and hearing those stories and how people got hooked, on why they still like playing retro games 20 years on,
That's right.
25 years on. That's a long time that you still can get this euphoria, this rush to still play it. And I think that's special for us, hearing our fans talk about
It is.
talk about that,
It's
isn't
great.
it? And that's great, and it means a lot to
It means
you,
a lot.
doesn't it, Doggo?
It means a lot. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
And I just want to say a big thank you to this guy because,
Oh,
no, honestly, a good friend. We're talking about 20, 25 years. This guy has actually been by my side as a good friend for 20 to 25 years, and he's done a lot of hard work in this video. He's been messaging people, he's been getting it set up, he did the introduction, he's done all the editing for all the Retro Bros videos. This is the man, honestly.
Thank you, man.
No, and this is the guy behind that does all the wicked videos and all the editing, spends all his spare time and doing it. And I just want to say big thank you to Doggo, and I want to say let's keep playing retro games and let's keep having fun.
Let's keep
and
fun.
let's keep doing it. And
Sounds good.
we want to hear from you guys as well, and that's one of the main reasons why we're doing it, because we want to hear from you guys. We want
That's
to
right.
play games that you haven't played. We want to hear from you and talk about retro games and building that community and
That's
you
right.
know and all those things. So
Thanks,
we
guys.
we can't wait. And yeah, look, until next time,
Retro Bros.
Retro Bros out.
Out.